Yeah. Can they hear me?
Welcome to Dwarven Forge Live. Can you hear Chris? This is on the Anvil, episode 75.
Yes, that's exactly right.
I
Actually,
didn't check before the thing, but I was woo.
he actually didn't ask this time. Usually he asks and then acts like he thought of it on the spot.
This time I was winging it. Going live. This is welcome. This is the show where we take you behind the scenes here at Dwarven Forge, or in this case, in my basement, and we show you what we're working on. We talk about what we're thinking about. I don't know, what do we do? We could pull back the curtain and we show you everything Dwarven Forge, and we never have any tech problems. Period. Can they hear you, Chris?
So far nobody has said that I'm too quiet. So
Woo!
there we go.
I am Nate. Joining me in this little steel box is who are you?
No, there's no way your laptop's made out of steel.
Yeah, I made it. I made a special. It's galvanized steel. Yeah, stainless.
I crafted this laptop myself out of rebar and.
I had to go uphill to make it, but I did it myself. It's a log cabin laptop. It's amazing.
Yeah.
We tonight we're talking. What are we doing? We're talking to scatter terrain, scatter bundles, scatterbrained.
Scatterbrained is actually the name of this episode.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
I'm in. So we're because we don't really have, maybe this isn't the most planned out episode we've ever done. We want to hear from you guys. I mean, we want to hear from you always, but in this time in particular, we want to hear your feedback. We want to hear your ideas. We're going to throw some polls at you. Interact with us. That's why we're here. It's part of the fun is engaging, right?
Yeah.
What else are we doing tonight?
Tonight, we may have a little teaser for you at the end, so you'll want to stick through.
Michelle just finished two pieces for cities, which we'll show at the very end. In the middle, we're gonna do a giveaway. Anybody can win. International, domestic, outer space, whatever.
Craft.
Yeah.
We'll do a giveaway. It's a $50 gift card. You can use to buy one of the new bundles we launched today, and then get an additional gift card on top of it.
Whoa, gift cardception.
Yeah.
Amazing.
We're gonna do a little bit of news. We don't have a ton of news today.
Well, let's find out what news we do have in the. It's the news. It's the news. Welcome to the news. What's in the news?
I just want to point out, Yak's son apparently just said that your basement is a mess.
Yeah, it is. It really. Let's go back to this white shot here. It's
hey, Vertex. Vertex is asking if there's any news on Nate's attic, and I guess that's one thing to say. This could potentially be the last.
I'm hoping
the last one we do out of your basement.
Well, so part of the reason.
Garage?
I mean, I'm always kind of in disarray down here, but I'm in extra double disarray because I'm in the midst of transplanting my workshop into an attic. I'm going from the basement to the attic. I'm moving on up, Chris. I made it.
You are.
I've painted the walls like wizard purple, the ceiling with it's a full purple onslaught, and I just got 11 feet and 1 inches of what are these workbenches built out today. I did not do any of the craziness underneath yet, all the shelving and whatnot, but I have 11 feet and 1 inch to set up, which is more than this, right? This is 8, so I've got already 3 feet, and then the other side. We're talking, that's going to be 13 feet. So I have 11 feet, 13, 24 feet, and a few inches. It's going to be dynamite. Got so much working space. It's going to be nice. So I'm over-ambitiously scheming that we're going to stream next week from the Purple Palace.
Yeah. I hope, like, the paint doesn't end up just being, like, a huge eyesore. Like...
Oh, it's insane.
Yeah, lights on it and stuff.
It's like full. It is like melt your brain purple. It is. It's awesome. It's pretty intense. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't know if we'll be able to pull it off, but I'm taking the tools over there tomorrow. I'm setting up shop in there full time tomorrow, and we'll see. And that's but so hopefully we'll be in there next week, and it'll be and then that'll be really probably clean. There'll be nothing in there. It's gonna be just like purple walls and a workbench and a whole bunch of a mountain mega set. We're gonna do some mountain building next week.
Yeah. Well, and then hopefully we'll actually be able to be doing the streams from in the office again before long.
Hopefully. Double hope.
That's another thing entirely.
Yes. But let's go back. Let's go back into the news. It's the news again.
That was news. You told me to put that in the news.
Oh yeah, but I went back to a wide shot, so now we weren't in the news anymore because it was like
you can just change scenes with it. All right, that's fine.
No. We were in the news segment. This is like a very.
All right, no, I got it. You were covering for operator error. Let's see.
Fire that guy.
Yeah. Other stuff. Let's start with the smaller stuff first. Wildland stuff is delivering.
Woo!
I think the second and third containers are pretty close to done. Do we have like an estimate of how many shipments they still have of those, or no?
It was 100 and... When did I send that up there? Friday? There was 150 shipments or something left, I think. That I've gone out. I'm assuming I've gone out by today. What's Wednesday? Yeah, it should have all gone out by now. And now we're just sort of circling the runway, waiting for that the damaged boat to limp into port, and we have there's another container that's just landed or something. I don't know. We're getting really close for mountains to start cruising out.
Apparently, my sound just dropped off.
Weird.
Yeah.
I didn't change anything.
Yeah, they're saying I suddenly got quiet. Oh, I guess we'll see. Am I still quiet? Okay, no, now I'm good.
Oh.
I don't know what it was.
You got introspective for a moment. You were just like you were in the moment.
I do swallow my sentences a lot. So as people are getting their stuff, if this is your first time doing a Kickstarter with us, just want to let you. We wanted to address real quick if something does show up and it is particularly if something shows up and it's broken or there's anything missing, just email customer support at dwarvenforge.com. Even if it's something that we can't fix right away, they're keeping everything. They're keeping track of everything so we can address it.
Yeah. There's been a few things like the resin, the Threshold of Worlds. Seems like a lot of people's resin trees have arrived broken from that. I know Stefan's came broken. I didn't open mine yet. I took it right up to the attic, so maybe I'll unbox it live and see if it's broken.
I haven't opened mine either. Mine's sitting right there. I didn't actually take it out of the styrofoam to see. You figure the styrofoam would have protected it, but
you'd figure, but no. What do you and I know? Also, the water texture overlays, a bunch of those are showing up wrinkled. There's certain sets they're packed in where they're packed terribly. I got some that were packed wonderfully and some that were packed terribly. I think Tyler said the best solve he's found is to put it under a towel and iron it.
Yeah, for the overlays.
Yeah.
Where are we on the swamps? The swamps.
That's a long way off. That was the stuff.
The final swamps. The problem is our final Wildlands container, which has the big swamp stuff in it, I believe.
Yes.
Got kicked off of the boat right before Chinese New Year, and so then the factory went on break for Chinese New Year, so we have to wait for them to get off before they can try to put it on another boat.
No.
But I think there's some swamp stuff that was already on the water, just not the mega pledges. I don't think.
I don't know. It's all
I don't have the list right on me.
But we will let you know in the next update. Hopefully the shipping won't be as garbled this time. I was copying pasting from 5 different places on that last one, and I said the Europe shipment is going to the US and then to Europe or something.
Yeah, you said I got some questions about that, asking if the Australia and New Zealand.
No, that's all going straight from the factory. There's a container going to the UK or to the EU, which I think I said was going to the US and then going out from there. It's I don't know. once again, copying and pasting on a Friday night from 5 different places. I did not proof that one well, but we'll let you know as soon as we know, and we'll let you know here. So what else is going on in Wildlands? Anything else in the Wildlands?
I think that was everything. Is there anything else we're missing? That was basically it. Yeah, just if there's ever anything weird with it, with your order, just contact customer service and we will take care of it as best we can.
Yep.
Has all the Container 2-3 stuff shipped yet? I think they've got to be close to done with it.
I think it has, or there's a few stragglers, but we should be dangerously close.
I think some people in Discord were still getting the notifications today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there might have been more than just those 150 that were in the queue, but I mean, it's a lot. At this point, it's been like, I don't know, 2,600 packages or something, or 2,600 orders have gone out or whatever. It's a lot. Shipments.
Let's see. Any Light Puck news? I think it's also waiting for a boat.
They wanted to do one last round of testing. They're having a hard time getting approval because of the electronics to ship, so they were testing something else or something. I don't know, but I think it should be fine. Like I got a sample here. Oh, it's at the attic. I was gonna show it. We showed it last week, right? Yeah, and it's working great. It's awesome. Miles and Toby are working on some light shows, which should be cool. So we have some other stuff. It's such a cool. Baconics, the company that did the programming, has added some new features to the programming, so it's easier to select individual LEDs and stuff. So Toby was like, I want to make a D20, like there's 60 something LEDs, so you could choose different LEDs, randomized from 20 different LEDs to choose. Like, of course, Toby is like coming up with some crazy.
Yeah.
With it. But anyway, it's working.
Toby and Miles are both just like ecstatic about what they do with it. Yeah, we've been having some meetings because we're starting to get like the how-to videos and stuff for them ready, so that we can have them ready like by the time the first people are getting the pucks. Because there's a little bit of it's pretty easy to just use out of the box, but there's a lot of stuff you can do with it if you want to like make your own stuff that we want to make sure. Well, communicate very clearly because some of it's complicated.
What's disconcerting, like, there's no LED or on button or anything. Like, you just pull it out and you're like, is this thing gonna work? Is this gonna turn on? Is there like it's a little esoteric, and then you download the thing, you fire it up, and boom, suddenly you're making colors, and it's pretty awesome. What else? Anything else in Wildlands, or what else we got in the news?
Let's see. There's one Wildlands question from Hoser asking why the hidey hole piece is shorter than the escarpments. I'm trying to remember which one that is. Is that
this hidey hole?
The one that goes down into like a cavern? Oh, the hidey hole one that has like a plug. Maybe?
It's shorter than the escarpments?
I think if you put the... I'm trying to remember. Is it cliff height?
No, it is. It was... Yes. It's a 1 floor height shorter, because it was designed to sit in the frame for the waterfall. I don't remember what you called that piece.
The cutout escarpment.
Yeah. We're trying to give that piece another reason to exist, and / be able to kind of do the cave behind the waterfall gag. So it is 1 floor's height short. So you can use the ledges, the Aranthor ledges to get it up to regular height. Yeah, it's not. I don't know. I go both ways with it, right? I really like that it plays with the waterfall stuff, but I wish that it also played better with the escarpments. I don't know. I still don't love. I wish I could go back and do like iteration 9 on the waterfall. I feel like there's still an even better iteration.
Remember when it was 1 by 1 by 1 like modular cubes?
They were 2 by 2. Yeah.
Still, when it was like tiny modular cubes, basically.
Yeah, I have all those mocks in a box somewhere, like the long legacy of the waterfall. It went through a lot of things. I don't know. I think there's still maybe a better way to do it, but I don't know. We'll come back to it in Wildlands 2 in 2027. We'll see what.
Gonna hold you to
see
that
what happens. Yeah.
Let's see. Cool. I think from there we move into some web store stuff.
Woo!
First thing was, if you missed it, the main topic of discussion tonight is going to be around the Scatter collection that we launched today, along with the new bundles that came with it. And we're gonna the main topic tonight is gonna be talking about why we did them the way we did them, what we're thinking about in the future, asking for some feedback on them, that sort of thing. But if you missed it and you didn't know that was a thing, those are now up on the site. If you just go to dwarvenforge.com, there's a banner right at the top there to take you to that collection.
And I think they're on the. I think they're in the mega menu of the shop now. Maybe also, hopefully.
They are, yeah. If you go to the drop-down menu on the shop, you will see the standalone scatter collection listed among Cavern and Dungeon and all that stuff. So if you weren't aware of that, that is there now. It's just a collection of a bunch of scatter pieces, so that you can build them with or without sculpted floors. You can do terrain trays. You can mix it with other wargame pieces you have, all that jazz.
Build it on flip mat. Build it on whatever.
Yeah. Let's see. And then we wanted to give you a heads up. In a couple weeks, we are going to be having one of our reserve restocks again. One of those situations
What's
where,
a reserve restock, Chris?
Reserve restock. So there's basically 3 different ways that we stock the store. There is
none of them reliable.
none of them are good. There's the initial store stock that happens when we finish delivering everything from a Kickstarter, and then we put all the surplus into the store. So the amount of product is really random at that time usually, because it's based on the order minimums from the factory mixed with how much of everything everybody ordered, mixed with how many replacements we had to send out, and all that jazz. There's our standard restocks where we order a fairly large amount of everything that is on the restock list, and that's the stuff that you will see. If you go to the site, there's a restock tab along the top bar on the Dwarven Forge site, and everything you see listed there is stuff that will be for a regular restock. So there's going to be hundreds of each of those, basically, when we restock them, basically.
And those take a long time. Those are a 6-month lead time often. Well, right now it's pretty volatile because we don't know. Our January restock is now going to be in March.
Yeah,
or April.
And then, wait, what?
What? Who?
Bundles are all sold out. No way, all the bundles are sold out.
Not possible.
We had hundreds for.
Not possible.
I gotta check this real quick.
Wow.
Right, and then there's reserve restocks, which is every time that we have stuff come in, the warehouse holds on to a handful of sets, basically, in case there's an issue and we need to replace anything that somebody has ordered.
We also have some reserves at the factory. There'll be sometimes there's some extra sets that didn't fit in a carton, or it takes 36 sets to a carton and we had 20, or they made some extras of a thing, or there's some weird stuff that sometimes sits around at the factory that every now and then we'll just gather up and say, okay, send us all the sort of the riffraff. That's part of the reserve. You look concerned. What have you discovered?
Both unpainted sets and the ruined painted sets are tried to buy. So the only thing that's in stock is the the mountain painted. Wild. Okay, I'll need to. I haven't seen the sales numbers for today yet.
How is that even?
I know one of them was. I think the mountain unpainted was out of stock, or the city unpainted was out of stock at launch, because there was one set unpainted that we didn't have.
Dope.
Either way, I'll have to check it after this. Right, so the reserve restocks, this time, in the past, we've combined them with regular restocks, but it's led to...
Mistake.
Yeah, it's led to people being unhappy because they have to... There's so much stuff to sort through, and they had to, try and rush and get the stuff from the reserve that they wanted before they were able to go and actually just, get the regular restock.
To be clear, the numbers on these reserve... bits. It could be like we could have 2 of a set or maybe 20 of a set, but generally it tends to be in single or really low double digits. It's not a lot, right? It'll be 5 of a thing or whatever. So
it's usually like 5 to 10.
Unlike ordering a restock of 300 of a set, which hopefully doesn't sell out in seconds. So those things go really quick, the reserve ones. So it's often frustrating for people. If that's mixed with a regular restock, it's like, well, all this stuff sold out. I don't understand. Yeah. So we're not going to do that again.
Yeah. Still buy a lot of individual. Weird. The bundles should be in stock as long as all of the sets that make up that bundle are in stock.
Yeah.
So it's
Eric would.
I'll have to check after this. We don't have time to check.
Yeah.
Right now.
So what we're going to do for this one is we'll get a collection up that shows you what's going to be on there, and you can use the wish list function, right, and put the things you're excited about on your wish list, and then the second it goes on up into the store, you'll auto generate a email will go out to you of, hey, that Spingle you were interested in is up. You can swoop in and grab it.
As soon as we know the date and time of it, though, we will tell you. We will give you a heads up. Probably like on the collection page for it, we will say when it's going to go live. Because I think we don't currently have the day locked in.
Well, it's we don't know how long it's going to take the warehouse to receive it because it's so many. It's just a disparate, like it's so many sets with weird quantities and things. Like it's not clean cartons, and it's a lot of different things, like 50 different things or something. I don't know. It's a weird hodgepodge, a medley, a plethora of assorted cornucopias full of dwarvenite.
Yeah.
Standard issue. So that's coming up. So buckle up. And then a big one. We have a double restock coming at tail end of March, beginning of April, whenever our January restock shows up. I think it's all going to be hopefully on the same boat with our March restock. We have some new Hellscape sets in there. We got a bunch of good fun stuff in there.
Yeah. Let's see. And then the last bit of store-related news is we are actively making progress on dungeon reconfigurations.
Dude, Chuck is like, in the movies where the guy's like plotting the thing, it's got all the strings on his wall and whatever. This Chuck right now is doing some, like, he's catching a serial killer with these dungeon sets, right? He's got a plan, he's a master plan of what are we going to actually do for our dungeon collection, like big picture, not just like reconfiguring a couple sets, but like what do we need to do to overhaul the whole collection to make it work so that you guys can get the things you need, right? From passages to daises to traps to decor and MacGuffins and just basic building pieces. And concurrently, we're resculpting and remastering a few awesome pieces, right? So the original KS1, like classic dungeon style diagonal wall, is getting a full resculpt, which is happening as we speak. So it'll actually be 3/8 of an inch thick and line up on the ends. We have the Toby did a noodled with the secret door, so that cool spinning secret door is going to be even more secret. And I don't know what we're just putting edging on some of those pieces, but anchor magnets in any of those pieces we're doing. So we're going to kind of bundle up a bunch of those old favorites with some of the other stuff and have some big core mega sets and all sorts of stuff. So Chuck is deep in the old Dwarvenite with the new Dwarvenite and trying to figure out a massive lineup of sets. It's going to be cool. And we'll probably have them in 8 months or whatever. What is that, like October? Yeah. I don't know.
With everything, with shipping and everything.
Yeah. But something to look forward to.
Yeah. And I think that's... Oh, and then we've got a question you wanted to talk about.
What's it in scatter? Because it's part of our scatter.
The scatter thing? Okay, cool.
Scatter strategy.
In that case, looking through this. All right, I think that's all the news then.
Woo! All right.
Yeah.
We're out of the news. What do we even go to? What are we going to go back to? I don't know. There's nothing
are you planning on showing anything on camera, or are we just going to talk?
No. We're gonna look at this. Now we're in the. This is the hard hitting. This is where these things get real. All right. So what are we? We're talking about scatter, right? So we got these. We launched some apparently sold out scatter bundles, which doesn't even make sense. I don't know how.
I'm checking. It all looks in stock to me. I'm wondering if Shopify is having an issue or something.
Somebody is. Hey, look,
Yeah.
if Skeletor for Prez is watching, this is Christmas card. Yeah. So we launched these two bundles, which we're kind of excited about because we have this is gonna be our new a new thing we can do. We've got the bundling software, we got the go ahead from Jay. We're gonna do some evergreen bundles. Well, evergreen until they sell out in 2 minutes, but we can do some long-standing bundles that stay in the store, not just like a build of the month thing that only lasts for a month, but stuff that can you can stay for months and months and months and months, and have a gift card in it, which seems pretty exciting. So this first batch that we did, it was something we'd been kicking around for a while, and it's kind of an arbitrary one to start with, but we put together a bunch of these sets into these scatter bundles, which are super friendly for wargaming, right? It's designed for a wargame battlefield, but of course also works fantastically for any RPG or whatever you're doing, because it's just basically a collection of houses or houses and a castle and some rocks, which you can put anywhere. And I'm hopefully people are going to enjoy them, and it's a good way to kind of get a neat little collection of stuff, and a gift card too. So it's kind of neat. Did anybody buy any of the either of those two bundles?
Well, hey, Justice Armand's here.
Hey, Justice.
Well, it might be. I'm currently seeing. I'm trying to get some eyes on it to see what the bundle issue is. It's possible people have been getting allowed to buy them. We'll see.
You know, Justice once gave me a really nice compliment. He said he thought I was a silver dragon, and which is just delightful. And then I was flipping last night. I was flipping through the 3rd edition Dragonomicon, and there's a silver dragon in there that really I feel like it kind of looks like me. I felt like that profile. I was like, huh. I kind of gave it that illustration like a little nod, like, hey, brother dragon, I see you there. Oh. Anyway, hi Justice, good to see you. Scatter. It's better. So I guess what else do we want to say about the creation of these bundles, or what we were trying to accomplish?
So the general idea of there's a couple thoughts that went into it. So with Wildlands we did away with general encounters, but there were a couple people who said that they kind of miss the feel that you get from encounters, and kind of the whole here's a complete session, here's a complete scenario situation.
Well, it's certainly easier to understand what the heck you're getting if you can kind of see what does it build. Oh, it's a little village. Oh, it's a moon buggy. Whatever. We actually didn't make any moon buggies, but
especially if you're new to this stuff and you don't entirely know how it all works. If you can see a full battlefield with examples of
yes.
Examples of what this looks like in action and all that, it's way easier to understand it,
Even if you're not new, it's easier to understand it when you can actually see the thing.
Yeah.
What does this make? How much coverage do I get? What is this? What exactly does this do? A couple houses.
Yeah.
So this was an attempt to say, hey, you could look at this. You could take these sets, combine 4 sets, and actually make get some neat coverage on a battlefield or an encounter, and whatnot. Any other things on thoughts? I have a bunch of questions. I want to do some polls. If
yeah. So the basic idea is basically the problem with encounters has been that they were really hard to restock because they would be some encounters would just be absolute, we can never do this again because the piece makeups and all that are not feasible.
It was just just dozens and dozens of pieces that were a one of that you couldn't. It's just not doesn't make sense to restock. We just can't order that way.
So as we've talked about Cities 2, we've been talking about making an approach where the encounters are basically bundles made up of add-on packs, and so we're trying to retroactively make encounter style bundles like that in the store. Um, the idea being like, one, it kind of encourages people to maybe get sets that they wouldn't have thought about getting before because they're seeing it in the context of being used on the field and all that. Um, uh, Two, it you know it lets us like offer things like the gift cards and stuff too, which I think is I'm actually surprised. I didn't think we were gonna get gift cards on these bundles, and I'm very happy that
Yeah.
we did.
Gift cards for life.
Um,
Well, let's ask. I want to start with this a fundamental
yeah,
question. I want to make a poll. So one of the big, so one of our big conceits going into Cities 2 is that, and I don't know, I don't know how true it is, but my gut is, my instinct is that most people, most normal, or the average DM tends to build scatter style when they're building a city or a village or a settlement, right? That is on top of a battle mat or a flip mat or one of those printed, just a printed fold out, or one of the Beetle and Grimm, right? You could roll out one of those cool Beetle and Grimm maps and then build on top of that or whatever. Like there's, a bunch of things that you could build on, but most people don't have the time and or the budget to just lay down all sculpted ground and then build either inline or on top of that or whatnot. So that was our sort of one of our design or sort of our use case. Where like, if we assume that most people are going to use stuff like this, how does that affect our design decisions? So my question for you guys is that how you build? So can we make a poll? I'm thinking it's like how do you build? Are you strictly scatter? Are you like mostly scatter? Are you an even mix of scatter and inline? Are you mostly inline, or are you strictly inline sculpted? All right, so it's 5. Is that too many things? It's a big array.
it's a lot. I can put exactly 5 options in the poll.
Perfect. So we can start with scatter. So scatter base being right, when you build, are you just building on top of something that's probably not sculpted terrain? Like a big, a mat, a sea floor mat, or one of those. I want to roll out a Beetle and Grimm's map and build on it now. But they're in the attic. The new attic. So it's only scatter, mostly scatter, an even mix, mostly inline or inline, strictly inline and sculpted.
Yeah, that is the poll is live. It's gonna be running for like 3 minutes.
Woo! Because that'll be. I'm curious to see if that's actually how people are doing, and of course, it varies across the boards. And we should obviously we should have probably done a poll that polled our entire whatever, a whole mailing list, get thousands of people to answer.
Maybe eventually.
Well, it's a little late now.
Jeffrey's saying with Dwarven Forge, the problem is the scatter has only been a real option for Wildlands. And I think that's definitely, like, with Dungeons and Caverns, like, our focus was definitely on inline. Yeah. Well, but there's still some things that do function as scatter.
Castles.
Which is the point of the collection, right? It was like
cities.
Looking through everything we've got.
Castle, cities, wilderness, like accessories. Like we had basically everything above ground was pretty scatter friendly. We didn't offer a lot of things to put it on, but it's all scatter friendly. Right, you can.
That's kind of the point of this collection, though, was looking back through our catalog, like what have we made in like every biome that makes sense for scatter builds.
Yeah, you can take a bucket of these Aranthor rocks and build them on anything. But yes, dungeons and caverns not as conducive. Although you could just get a pack of stalagmites and take a dry erase mat and kind of outline your cave and drop some stalagmites in there and off you go.
Yeah, I think for dungeon, you're talking about that being like you're talking about that being your grid paper, but then you use scatter to like make points of interest or line of sight blocking or cover. With caverns, I think you could say like, oh, it's a big cavern and you just got like a terrain tray and stalagmites and stuff around, and it's more doable.
Also, the dungeons tend to be a little smaller. Like dungeon rooms tend to be smaller than your outdoor. When you're building your village, your orc settlement, your city block or whatever. Like that's gonna be you're gonna kind of go until you run out of either terrain or space. Versus that you can have some very very small tight dungeon rooms that are pretty awesome.
Oh man, there's a lot of people writing thorough text
I
in
love it.
chat. Let's see.
Wouldn't it be fun if we could have like callers, like people could call in and like give them 60 seconds to talk about their thing.
If we had the resources to do that,
is that a thing? Do people do like? Can you do that on the internet? Does it work?
The poll has ended.
Ooh, the poll is long. Live the poll.
The poll has ended. 55%, 50-50 scatter and inline. 17%.
50-50? 50%? How many people? First of all, what was our sample size?
29. 29 say they do 50-50 between scatter
and inline.
No,
what's our total? What's our total? How many respondents do we have in the poll?
Let me add that up.
Oh, it doesn't tell you?
15, 24. It didn't do the math for me, no. 53.
Okay, so we have 50% said even mix. Okay.
55%.
55 is going up every second. Okay.
It's not all right.
It's changing.
17% mostly inline.
Okay.
13% strictly inline.
Yeah. I love the strictly inline purists. They're like, no, you don't understand. This is like, it's the best.
9% strictly scatter. And then 7% mostly scatter.
I'm a 17% mostly inline. That's my like. I tend to also I have the advantage of having basically an unlimited. I mean, not unlimited, but I have more like I'd be hard pressed to run out of pieces. But there's definitely times where I just want to go scatter. I got a thing with just lava with lots of little islands, like just like it's just great. Like there's things that are just so much better in scatter that you'd be.
And you do got to wonder too how much of it is due to the pieces that are available.
Yeah,
like the fact that like our dungeons and caverns are mostly, and that's our most popular lines, and those are mostly inline sets.
So here's a question that's going to apply then to everybody except for the 13% purists, which is when do you build scatter? I don't know how to quantify it yet, right? Like when do you what things are you building scatter? Like I don't even know how do we pull that? Like is it outdoor? Do we break it by biome? Do we break it by
the general rules I've been seeing? So a lot of people are saying that they exterior is scatter, interior is inline.
Makes sense.
Justice brought up a good point, which he was saying along with the exterior and interior like divide. He's also saying like if it's homebrew, it's more likely to be scatter, but if he's doing a module, it's more likely to be inline because he's building it to match to like that existing map.
Oh, that's an interesting. Yeah.
Let's see. So those are two things. Finley had a thing that was interesting. Where is it?
Is the homebrew scatter because it's faster and more free? Like you're just kind of rather than matching a map, you're just kind of like sorting it out as you go, right? I like to like jazz, right? You just sort of like just feeling it as you go, or is it or is it just the constraints of like I don't know? I just gotta kind of these are all the pieces I've got, and I'm.
Zukin's saying that they'll put out terrain or a house for the main or the secondary target, and then they'll draw in the rest.
I love that.
And a lot of that is budgetary concerns, is what they're saying.
But that's a neat, right? That's the same thing as like drawing the cave and then putting a couple of points of interest or whatever. That's a fun, right? If you're gonna just buy a Stairway to Violence and use that as your cool thing and go the rest, like that's a great, like. That's great for your players. It's still exciting, right? You put this thing down and like, okay, this is my focal point. The rest of the stuff is this tactical. I know where I'm at, but this is like, okay, I'm going for that objective, or this is the point where all the excitement happens. I love that.
Yeah.
And that's my gut is sort of the general, generally people that don't have an unlimited budget are going to kind of make it count on the things that are important and like cut corners and everything else, because it's like, that bush in the corner that nobody's going to interact with, who cares? Just it's a green squiggle on your dry erase mat.
But if there was a hole in it so you could put a mini underneath it.
Fair.
Somebody should get on that.
Yeah.
Super Mario Bros. Has an interesting insight to this conversation. I'd buy a Stairway to Violence if they ever get restocked. Which I think is an interesting.
You, sir. That's cheap shot. Yeah, I know. We want really. We have a scheme. It's a long game. We have a scheme for getting their Stairway to Violence restocked. But
Black and Blue Mark also has an interesting point. It says how much time the players will spend there also determines whether it's scatter or inline.
Right.
If they're spending several sessions in one place, it's much more likely to be inline.
Right. Versus this is just this quick throwaway bandit ambush. Let's just jam it out fast or whatever. That's a really good. Yeah.
So this is the main thing. It's the whole. It usually feels like, at least when it comes to D&D/RPGs, inline is usually done unless there are time or money reasons. Why not?
Or matching a module, or
yeah.
Well, let's actually that reminds me. Let's back this thing up one more notch. What are you using? What are you using your DF for? Right? Is it RPGs? Is it war games, or is it both? That should be the next one, right? So, and war games is any skirmish, or skirmishing up, right? From Frostgrave through to Warhammer.
Didn't we do this? I feel like we did.
We have that poll, but this is like that's not with this 53 people. Like we need these. We want to know what these specific people who are then answering this other stuff, what they're using it for.
Okay. Oh, this is glitching. All right. What do you use your DF for? RPGs, war games, both. All right, that poll is going for 3 minutes.
Boom.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a heavy
RPG
bias here.
Yep.
Let's see. Sometimes you just don't have all the terrain possible yet. It forced me to go scatter for some things. RPGs for me. Yeah. Oh, also another thing was scatter is like clearly the easiest if there's like a random encounter.
Yep. Or a spontaneous thing where they just decided to surprise you by doing this, whatever nonsense they love to surprise you with. These are. I got the next question ready too.
Just real quick, in regards to the bundles out of stock thing, Joanna just tested it and isn't able to recreate the issue. It's letting her go through the whole process fine, so it might be some weird glitch that's happening with your account. If that's the case, email customer support at Dwarven Forge, and we'll try to get that fixed.
Whew.
Yeah.
So they're not out of stock.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Is I was looking at it, I'm like, all the stuff that makes up these bundles are in stock, so it shouldn't be. It should be working.
But you're applying
I think
logic.
we had glitches like this before on something. I think one of the builds of the month did this, and it was a thing where we had to fix it for people's individual accounts.
That's silly.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's some kind of. Yeah.
This is why I'm not a computer programmer. Maybe the only reason why.
Yeah. Let's see. Who's the 1% here that only war games? Rab isn't here tonight. Yeah. Let's see. D&D Miniatures had a skirmish game also.
Who has a skirmish game?
Apparently, D&D Miniatures had a skirmish game.
There was in 4E, didn't they have when they were pushing?
Maybe. I never played 4E.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
We should have asked if people just use them for dioramas.
Well, and George is playing with your kids and whatever. But I'm like, for the purpose of talking about scatter,
Yeah.
like that's what this is
Uh,
about.
Jeffrey's saying that he used some DF in a recent 40K game and it went a lot better than he expected.
Ooh, what? Do tell.
Yeah, what pieces did you
And
use? Did you
and
use
what were you expecting to go poorly? Like that was the other. Like what was
what is
the?
it? What is it that surprised you?
What was gonna happen? Like the
3.5 had the skirmish side of the game.
there's
Really?
3.5.
I played three. I never. I guess
It was a
maybe
whole
we also were
separate
all
line
doing.
of There were cards that came with like they were selling minis that
All
had
right.
like stat cards for
The,
skirmish. And
the results are in.
what are the results?
Out of 60 people,
Ooh, it's 60 this time.
47 only do RPGs, or 78% only do RPGs. 20% do both. 2%, which is one person, does only war games.
Well, good for you.
Oh, so the plastic minis started because of their skirmish game, I guess. I had no idea. Yeah, with 3.5, I guess we were really only doing theater of the mind stuff, so we never did skirmish stuff.
I don't think the skirmish thing ever caught on. All right, so then I have another question, which is, I mean, since most people are RPG or both, when you're building, how strict about the 1 inch squares are you? This is when you're building, right? Do you strive for 100% perfection? Everything is like perfectly on that grid. Are you a little loose, or are you like what squares? What are squares? And then the follow up to that would be when you're actually playing. How strict are you with the squares? But that'll be
So this is when you're building?
yeah. Because one of the things, so the reason I'm asking this is like the freeing thing about being scatters. You can like you do this right where these buildings are all kind of catty corner. Like you can do stuff that's all. Let's go the over. Right, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be on the grid. Like you can make a little village square that things are sideways and around it. Like if things can feel more real, but then you tend to drift way off the grid, or you can stick it in, or you kind of do a little both. I'm curious how people like do they keep because the thing that killed me about the original city is if you're building with the streets, you are on this like really strict grid, 4x4 grid, which is like kind of boring to build in after a while, versus the sort of the freedom of doing it like an actual village with layout or whatever.
Let's see. Um, we count the squares and moving minis, but I don't force myself to build everything square. Grid is there to help guide the players and minis as needed. Grids are good for building elevation and knowing where to put it in game.
That is true.
All D&D rules are more guidelines anyway.
Also true. These are fun facts.
Hate grids, players place too much emphasis on them rather than how the fight interaction is happening.
Yeah.
Tend not to worry about grid/spacing. In most cases, the area is small enough that everything is within range. That's true. It's so rare that like your spell having a range of 120 feet really matters.
Yeah. Well, also, in my home game, the players would just ask like, "Hey, can I reach that guy?" Or rather than like counting out the squares, a lot of times they just kind of. Also, because I think they know that if it's like 35 feet and they're at 30, I'll just say yes because I'd rather move the combat. Like I'd rather get that thing moving and get them there and let them land their big hit and then have the thing react in an interesting way and do whatever. Then like have to wait that extra turn because they didn't have the extra 5 feet of movement or do whatever. Or something. I don't know. I'd rather just keep it moving. Like, but
Superb Mario Bros. Is an interesting question.
Ooh.
If you were to revisit Streets, do you have an idea to break the grid, or would the components of that system not be feasible due to the amount of unique pieces required?
I haven't even thought about it, and that is a really wonderful question. My thinking was, whenever we do some more street stuff, is do diagonal streets, and maybe like one kind of weird curve or Y or something, some interesting shape that you could do, kind of neat like town square sort of thing or whatever. But I hadn't gone beyond to like what was redoing an entire street system that was friendly to inline and scatter, and they could do whatever. Like I hadn't wrapped my head around that.
Got results in.
What do we got? What do we have?
Out of 37 people this time.
People, no love for the squares. No love for the squares.
I think the less interesting question. 54% say somewhat. 30% are completely strict at the grids. 16% not at all.
Cool. Interesting.
So it seems like people mostly are in the middle, leaning somewhat towards the actually caring about it.
No. Well, then what's the same follow-up is that, when you're playing, how strict are you with the squares? So, because sometimes there's definitely, like, questionable, like, is that a full square? Is that not? Is this like, there's definitely some moments where... And then, here's the other one. Once you start dealing with elevation, are you supposed to do the hypotenuse? Are you supposed to... Like, that's a separate question. But let's ask them about how strict people are when they're actually... When you're gaming, how strict are you with the squares? Right? Are you... The same thing. Are you 100% strict on the squares? Or are you a little loose? Or squares schmares? I'm also curious of what people do for with elevation and distance. I break out the tape measure and I go full hypotenuse.
There is part of me that likes to do quick math.
No, I just measure it. Like I'm just doing it rather than doing no theorem. I just measure it on the diagonal from where they are and just say, yeah, sure, it looks good enough. And go. Mostly, I just don't want to slow down. I don't want to slow down the narrative by calculating. Yeah, I don't know. There's like a bunch of weird specific distance. Unless you're with a bunch of players and it's a really crunchy battle that's specifically like there's times where it's really fun to be like super crunchy about all the numbers and trying to like nail that, but not when you're playing with an average age of 12, whatever. Like 3 players. Was it 30?
Oh, Joanna found the issue.
Ooh, look at this real-time tech support.
Yeah, Joanna says if they put
items
in their cart and click the cart button on the top, which opens up the slider, and then they click the checkout button at the bottom of the screen on the slider, the bundle shows as sold out. So if you don't do it that way, it shouldn't show as sold out.
What was that way? Do that again. No.
If they put items in their cart and click the cart button on the top, which opens up a slider on the side, and then they click the checkout button at the bottom of the screen on the slider. So don't click the checkout button on the slider and go to the checkout button otherwise and see if that works. And so basically it pulls up a sidebar if you click the cart button on the top right of the screen. And apparently that is where she's seeing the out of stock issue.
Pretty cool that you could flag this and she could find it.
Yeah, I have no idea why it's only affecting it if you go that way. It seems like a very odd bug. Ugh. I wish my cat would just jump in boxes instead of trying to rip them to shreds.
My cat loves boxes. Like
she doesn't care about sitting in them at all, but like she'll go where the tape is and she'll try to like rip off shreds of it 'cause she loves eating plastic and tape.
Yeah, our girl cat likes to chew. The boy cat just wants to lounge in boxes and the girl cat wants to destroy. She's like, she will come out and chew like just random weird pieces of paper and then like you see her and she like scampers off into the darkness like a shadow.
Oh. Want battle boards so bad? Yeah.
Yeah.
The battle boards are very nice.
I am a fan. I'm a fan, and we got grand plans.
Let's see. What's the material for battle boards? Foam? They're not foam, are they?
No, they are. They are heavy. They are. Whoa! I didn't want to pull out my Star Trek technology here. Okay. They are.
Oh, we got the results. The results are pretty close to.
Should make sense. So this is they're hard ABS plastic on the bottom with magnets, and then they have metal and neoprene on the top. So metal underneath the neoprene. So they weigh more than a terrain tray. Like they've got heft, and they're exactly the height of our floors, and they are awesome. If I do say so myself. Yeah. And I want more. I only have 2 here. Soon they will be shipping. Soon, TM.
Yeah.
All right. So what are the results? What's
the results
they're
pretty close to the same. We had 47 people this time.
Hey.
And I gotta bring the results up again. They went away. Yeah. So we had 49% are completely strict with the grids. Actually, this is different.
Yeah.
Well,
because it's a different, right? Like building and then actually running are 2 different. It's a
40% somewhat, 11% not at all. So it still seems like people definitely. It's very few people that don't factor in the grids at all, either when they're building and playing.
Well, because it is definitely a big part of the mechanics, and that makes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Let's see.
This is a good
any
question.
plans to make the boards in more flavors? Yes.
Yes, this was Wildlands was a foray, a test. Our scout division went out to see what we could find, and I think we like what we found, so we will do some more.
Will they be coming to the store? Yes, they will be coming to the store.
All right, I'm putting these on some better words. Now we're talking. That's other
stuff. Oh, somebody asked earlier. They're saying if we had an ETA for the dungeon reconfigs because they want to buy some dungeon core sets and they don't want to screw themselves over.
It's gonna be like 8 months.
Yeah. So what I will say, the reconfigs that we're planning on doing aren't really to replace what's already there. They're more to try and dig some of those pieces that are stuck and hard to restock and make them more available.
Yep.
So we're not planning on getting rid of the existing core sets. This is more rounding it out and making some of those pieces that people have wanted that have been hard to get easy to get.
Just better packs that make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Turns out logic is maybe better in our lives than.
Any plans to make boards without grids?
We did. They didn't sell as well. Although that's another. The grids. I'm curious. Oh, here's how we've had some of the grids of the terrain trays, Wildlands terrain trays, and battle boards that were off. How good were people's grids that they got? That's it. Should pull that one out. I wonder how many people actually have gotten their stuff that can actually respond. But
does the dungeon reconfigs include vaulted diagonals?
We're the vaulted diagonals are getting in the mix for sure.
Let's see. Top of the says the battle board grids were good. Hoser says all 8 boards have a slightly off grid. Top of the says terrain trays were off on one side, lined up on another. Let's see.
Yeah, it's been frustrating because it's been kind of a mixed bag, and it's hard to know. Do we proceed? That's the big question, right? Do we proceed with trying to put grids on everything and know that they're often not going to be perfect, or do we skip the grids on on future battle boards and terrain trays. I don't know. I really want to get grids on everything because it's just more useful. But it's been really hard. Some of them have really been drifting. And not like that cool like Tokyo drift. Like this is.
Let's see. The off-grid part only seems to affect the edge. The inner grid is great. Yeah, the grid is what we've been saying is the grid is perfectly spaced. It's just like it's not. It's basically like the graphic is not being put on exactly where it's supposed to be.
Well, there's a human component, right? It's a piece of fabric that's getting glued down onto a thing, and there's a human component. So unless you're like, if it's not perfect, and it's fabric, right? So it moves and it stretches a little bit, whatever. So it's like I don't know how they get it down and then trim it and do the thing, but it's obviously there's some margin of error in there because they're not nailing it every time.
Guess there's no way to print the grid after it's on the tray.
No.
Yeah, no.
No, that would be
the grid is part of the art.
Part of the art.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a question from. Oh, we should do the giveaway. It's 8:00.
Oh yeah. All right, let's get a word in here.
It is. All right. So Grendel0 wrote on Twitch last week. After watching this week's on the Anvil, you said that you're not building the new cities sets to a grid. Does that mean you're going to make city-style battle boards? Hard yes. Battle boards, terrain trays, and who knows what else we'll come up with. I'd love to see something like that. New battle boards are really awesome. Thanks, awesome. So now here's the exciting one. So his second part of the question is, he said, I'm trying to visualize how it's going to look like to build everything above the grid. And I think he's meaning above the, like not in line, but you can scatter style on top of buildings. He said, I don't know if it's my OCD or what, but I think building above the grid looks a bit odd. I like it when everything looks flush. So that's the next question for folks. I could get us some streets out to show it if you want. Does that little step up? Does this little step up bother people? That the the base of the building is here, and you kind of step up to this building. So that's the question. Does the step up bother you? Is it a yes, no, a little bit? Maybe give people 3 options.
Oh. Yeah, let's put that poll in. Also, I need a giveaway word.
Oh yeah, let's do the giveaway first. All right, we can't do both at the same time, right? That's crazy.
Well, we can.
Yeah, all right, let's do it all. Crazy woo! Giveaway word?
Does the step up bother you? Yes. Yes, no, some? Or are we just doing yes or no?
Yeah, let's do yes, no, or a little.
All right, that poll is going. What's the giveaway word?
Scatter!
All right, the giveaway word is scatter. No matter where you live, you are eligible for this giveaway. We are giving away a $50 gift card to the Dwarven Forge store. All you have to do is type scatter in chat. It is not case sensitive. You can use it in a sentence if you want. You just type that in and you will be entered. At the same time, the poll is also running, so go ahead and hit that poll as well when you have time. And we'll roll the giveaway in a couple minutes.
It's a lively, a lot going on here. All right, let's do it with these streets. Let's show what he's. Okay, we're doing streets on. The best thing about the battle boards is they're so easy to line up with each other because they've got a hard edge. Good. Does anybody? Well, here's another. All right, we got 2 minutes. Let's start with this. We'll finish that question first, and then I'll go to the next. I'm curious what people think of their battle boards. Those people that have gotten them. All right, so giveaway is live, poll is live. We got all sorts of liveliness.
Merc's saying that houses usually have that step up anyways.
All right, so this is like to illustrate. This is built in line with those streets versus. Oh man, do I have? Versus on top. What is that saying? We're wrong building. Oh, I can mix and match. And the nice thing too, if you do on top, is you can get a little cattywampus, right? You can like, it doesn't have to be flat, right? You can like, I don't know, if you want to get crazy with the grid, you can go out or go off by an inch or whatever. Oh, and here's the other thing: you can mix and match. There's no. I'm gonna put this guy right here. You can have. And I wish the streets have anchor rings, right? You could have one guy in line, one guy not in line. Boom, boom. Woo!
Trubicorn's saying that building on top will expose the holes in the floors.
The biscuit holes?
Yeah.
Yeah, but if the biscuit holes are really ugly, we're gonna put something. We'll dress them.
Yeah. Okay, we've got the poll results.
What say the people, Chris?
So we've got 71 people in this time.
Ooh, this is a lively. Grendel, you sparked a lively topic.
Yeah. 48% say no, 30% say a little, 23% say yes.
Hang on. So 23 yes.
30% a little, 48% no.
Well, how about this? How does a set of stairs make you feel about it? I mean, there's like, we could literally just make a thing. Does that change your?
Stairs help a lot, people are saying.
No, and these are stone ones. Maybe they look better with a stone here. We'll swap them out. We could put
this is stuff from.
This is castle.
This is old stuff. This isn't like if we made something new.
We got something, but you could have. There you go. Welcome to my house. No, it's like you got the thing versus this guy. This house looks classier when it's up high, right? This is like, these guys could afford a proper foundation. These guys are like, my house is sinking into a swamp. What do I do? And oh yes, well, I step on up.
Sinking into the swamp that we've paved with sidewalks.
Wait, what?
Sinking into the swamp, but also we've built all these streets and sidewalks like on the swamp.
Well, over the swamp, yeah, because they were trying to build a mall, and they had to the Emporium, Aurora's Whole Realms Emporium. That was I gotta find that somewhere. They did like a D&D Sears Roebuck catalog back in the late 90s, I think. Late 90s, early aughts, I don't know. The Aurora's Whole Realms catalog was amazing. It was like, there must have been 1,000 items in there. It was just like they literally tried to make a Sears catalog, D&D style, like everything from, fine fur coats to like ice cleats and I don't know, all sorts of, it was all over the place. It's pretty neat. Ambitious. What's my other question I had for people? Well, let's give this giveaway. Let's give it away.
Yeah. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Alright, this is our last chance to enter. If you have not typed scatter in chat, type it now for a chance to win $50 Dwarven Forge gift card.
Woo!
Although we've got 96 people in, so I think most people have entered. Uh, Everybody is eligible. It's international giveaway. So do not worry about a thing. Oh, come on, losing streak. Let's see.
Who's on a losing streak?
Orion Noir
Oh,
apparently hasn't won.
ever?
All right. Uh,
Hmm.
18 plus months. No, we've been streaming for about 2 years, so I assume we must have won somewhere near the beginning then. All right. I'm gonna roll it now. Let's go. Hey, Asian Red Dragon 11.
Woo! Congrats.
Gotta get your the email for your store account. We can get that gift card applied. I will. Don't post it in chat. I'm going to. I'm gonna message you about it.
Post all your info and shit.
Yeah, don't. If you can just put your social security number in chat, we will get you this. Oh, hey, we've already got it. You've won before. Awesome. So I can just send. I can send it to the same email.
Woo!
I'll just confirm that with you real quick.
So I have another question. This one came from a longtime listener, Chris. You said with these scatter-based bundles, we took all the photos on some terrain trays, right? So there was actually, like, in this case, we wanted to do like how big is a 4x4 battlefield? What does it look like? Scattering the stuff out. Is that how should we display these things? Is it confusing to show it on terrain trays or battle boards? Should they just be floating in a black void? Should they just be on a table with nothing else? Like, how?
Masticon, I think the issue with us putting it on a battle map is if we have product in there that isn't ours, it might be.
Yeah.
It could cause problems. Let's see. Banana for scale.
Yeah.
It's nice to see how dense the coverage is. Please leave out or gray out things that are not included. Set up on a tabletop would make more sense. Terrain tray look is misleading. A black void would be better. Let's say do multiple sizes so it doesn't look like they came out. Doesn't look. I'd say do multiple sizes so it doesn't look like they come in the set and it shows off density.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we've got reuse different terrain trays and a different amount of them for a second picture. Because the thing that I think is helpful about them is it gives you some sense of scale.
You know,
that's another thing we're trying to keep another thing we're trying to keep in mind too is like,
yeah, what does it actually look like on the table? You know, it seems like the magic would be like a 4x4 using terrain trays or battle boards, like a 3x3 or 2x2 with the same thing using terrain trays or battle boards with different ones, so you get a different texture, and then just kind of like arrayed out nicely in the void, right? Kind of just like side by side, like here's the lineup of everything in the set, but not like built out like a village, but like here's all the stuff in the void that covers all things. So you can see, okay, this is exactly what I'm getting, and then hey, here it is in situ on the table.
Maybe.
Why is there a bush on this thing?
Maybe we also could like show the terrain trays on the page as a separate product, and like if you want the terrain trays that are in this, you can go to this thing and get them there.
Yeah. That's a good question. I think it's the first time.
Maybe have an image of minis as well to help you visualize how big your pieces are.
Yeah. Maybe that, like, terrain trays and minis, like, just do it like a full in situ thing, because then it's like, you know, if we're gonna show stuff that's not in there, might as well just go all in. All the hog. Whole hog.
Yeah.
Boop.
Yeah, maybe having.
What else? So here's the next question. This is a wide open one. What do people want to see? What other bundles would you guys like to see in the web store? Now that we're going on a bundle bonanza, what else would you like to see?
Or have the initial image be only what you get, and then subsequent ones can show in use with the terrain trays and minis and stuff.
Makes sense.
Forest scatter, swamp scatter, forest glade. So we are definitely going to make, when the wildland stuff gets in, we are definitely going to be adding some forest and swamp. Well, and mountains.
All of it.
We're going to be adding wildland stuff into that scatter collection when wildlands hits the store.
For sure, in the store.
Cavern elevation bundle. Something with Titan's Tooth and Stairway to Violence.
Together. The ultimate, that's awesome.
Bundles for each type of cavern.
What do you mean? Oh. Like
an
ice bundle, a Hellscape. Yeah. That's a good one. More what?
More bundles would require more restocks. Well, that's the thing, is we were thinking maybe we add a bundle when restocks hit that utilize the stuff from the restocks. So, we've got the big Hellscape. We've got the big Hellscape restock coming.
I love Hellscape.
Hellscape. Second Cavern elevation bundle. The thing is, it'd have to be stuff that we could get in stock. So we got to figure out how to get Cavern elevation packs back in stock, and then we can use them in a bundle. A beginner bundle with 2 to 3 sets from different biomes and a biome-specific bundle.
Hang on, what was it? What was the beginner bundle?
A beginner bundle with 2 to 3 sets from different biomes and a biome-specific bundle. So we could do like a starter that's like, here's a Cavern's core, here's a Dungeon core, here's a just kind of like a taste of everything sort of pack.
Well, my question is, wouldn't you want a couple, like 2 dungeon sets or something, so you could do like a bigger, like, feels like it would be frustrating to have 1 dungeon set, 1 cavern set, and 1 city set or something, right? Like, it's not really enough to do. Like, isn't it better to bundle up, a Cavern's Core and then Cavern's Core Advanced, and Stalagmites or something, like the Cavern starter that gives you a bunch of Caverns options. Ooh, I got
Jeffrey, the reason why we don't have the option to, like, the reason why we basically have the 2 bundles, like, one is Tudor and one is Stone, and we don't just have them, like, swapping out the same, is mostly that the runes pieces for both are very different. And they're not really a 1-to-1 thing.
Why the sets have different things in them?
Yeah, like the stone runes, because like the core is pretty similar, but the stone runes and the Tudor runes are very different.
We only made the ruined Tudor roof. We didn't do the ruined slate roof.
And with stone, it's like the walls that are in multiple parts and crumble and stuff like that.
Yeah, very different style.
And then the reason why we didn't get like super granular with it too is also like, then we'd have to have listings for each one of them, and it's like clutter,
And then in terms of the actual bundles, we tried to have a nice variety in there between stone buildings, Tudor buildings, mixing with the watchtower, mixing with the mountain stone.
Negative space starter with banks and terrain trays.
Ooh, what was it? Oh, what starter?
A negative space starter with banks and terrain trays.
That's a great one.
Cavern's Core and Trifecta Cave can make a good bundle. Here's a question. If you've seen the Getting Started videos, were there any sample builds from those that you saw and you were like, oh, I'd really like to be able to get that?
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, Keenan just said, I like that Sea Cove bundle. Are you talking about the one that was a Cavern's Core, banks, and then we added a docks pack to it later with 2 terrain trays? An Aaron Thor and Wyverstone mix bundle to create detailed organic mountains with both large and small pieces.
That's a good one. We'll
probably have something in that.
Well, we could also do the Aaron Thor mega bundle with the new Aaron Thor expansion pieces with the original Aaron Thor mega set for like the mega effect, like Mega Man.
Gilded Poison says doing a collection of the wall pieces, the Wall of Ice, Fire, Thorns, Force.
That would be a cool one.
I think it's a thing we've talked about before.
I have a little box of them all, and my wall kit.
Nines DM says the watchtower with the docks and mountain scatter was pretty great.
This, oh, the walls.
Yeah. I really love Nodestone Unchurned and regret not buying it. I wonder if we can just bring back some of those builds of the month.
Yeah.
There's no law saying we can't, right?
The Build the Month police could come after us. They've been, they've been looking to nail us for years, and I'm still in faction. They got us on a tax evasion, but I don't know. Isn't that what took down Capone? They got him on tax evasion or something? They couldn't get him on anything else.
Oh, I wish they got him for like jaywalking.
Yeah. Has anyone ever actually been arrested for jaywalking?
Probably.
No.
It seems like the two popular ones from the getting started are the Sea Cove and that like watchtower with the docks like on the ocean build. Burrows needs another bundle.
Ooh.
Burrows needs a lot of things.
I have a half baked Burrows core sitting at the office. Someday we'll go back to figuring out how to make that work. Do core sets for that and get them, because Burrows are awesome.
Yeah, they just need to be more accessible.
Yeah.
What about a city bundle? Something you're building right now, but it's buildings and streets.
Not nuts at all.
Potentially.
Except I think they're all sold out. That's.
Yeah. Do we have because the Imperial streets are way too expensive to be the thing of the bundle, but we have smaller streets packs.
Yeah, I think they're all sold out, but yeah.
Burrows needs 45-degree angles. Yes.
Yep. Diagonal streets would be neat.
Yeah, we've been talking a lot about Burrows.
Burrows
be a rebel and restock everything. That's being a rebel as much as being
Jeff Bezos.
being bad at business.
We don't have enough money to restock everything.
Yeah.
It's way too much capital up front.
Pull accessories from every biome bundle.
Whoa. Pole accessory party?
Yeah.
The pole accessory party pack?
Pole party. Bring back marble floors if you bring something old back. The marble we unfortunately can't.
That was a limited edition.
Yeah, that's a thing that we actually promised we wouldn't bring back, which in retrospect was a terrible idea.
It was a terrible promise. That was a... yeah.
Yeah. And that's why we try to avoid doing things like that anymore. Saying like, hey, we're gonna do a really cool thing. This is the only time to get it. And we won't do it again after we promise. Whoops.
Yeah, not the greatest.
Let's see. Different color marble. That could be an option.
Mm-hmm.
This wouldn't be. Yeah, we couldn't do the white marble, but.
Dude, purple marble is all the rage. I'm telling you. It's,
Kree Colony might be too much Burrows. Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like, Kree Colony is a lot. There needs to be a smaller starting point for Burrows.
Yes.
Who did you promise? The Kickstarter backers.
Yeah.
A lot of you guys who are here right now.
We said this is a limited edition set. We're only going to do in the Kickstarter. This is your only chance to get it. You can't go back on that. Same with the Chamber of Sorrows in KS1. Same with the Jade version of the Shrine of Sassul in Dungeon of Doom. I don't think we did anything else that we said was exclusive.
Jade. Did you say Jade? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I tuned you out. Let's see. Question: I noticed the square corner tower jumped into low in stock. Is there any plan on ever restocking these big castle sets? Castle is hard. They sell very slow, and that makes it hard to restock them. But we've had, so the small watchtower has been doing well.
Well, it's more affordable.
How to get more, if we can figure out how to get more castle moving the way that small watchtower is, it'll be easier.
Problem is the castle's so cool, but it's big and expensive. And
it's very situational.
Yeah, I love building the castles. Like, it is just, nothing looks cooler And
I've got a couple. I've got a couple ideas, uh, to make castles more appealing. So we'll see how that goes.
well, yeah, cut the price in half. That would be...
There we go. Yeah, if we just put everything on sale, you could just buy a bunch of Count's castles. Is Construct a Castle moving okay? Construct a Castle was definitely an improvement. Um,
Still, it's been moving slowly.
there's a lot of castles. Just like a very challenging thing to pitch to people.
Yep. It's awesome. One day we will return to do even more crazy castles.
Yes.
Are there other questions or thoughts? Should we wrap up early? I don't know what else to do. I have to show the little Michelle teaser.
Mescon saying, if you're doing build on top for cities too, how do you plan to make things on top be magnetized? At that point, the top layer would just have to be a battle board or terrain tray, basically. You'd be building on top and with something that has metal in it. Otherwise, if you don't want it to be, if you don't care about it being magnetized, you can build on top of the streets.
But also, there's less. If you are building on top of sculpted terrain with if you're using the biscuit system to hold your floors together, stuff like you're not gonna need to anchor magnet down as much, because it's like you're gonna have probably bigger buildings that are gonna be stuck together, and I don't know. We will see.
You can play around with different things that can make out scatter builds. Can you buy the pins that came with the burrows?
Oh, that's something we need to do. Remind me, that's a thing Chuck's been talking about for 100 years.
We need to get pin packs.
Yeah, the bridge pegs and the CBS pegs and the magnets, and no, that's a really good one. That person.
What is the price of the new Hellscape Cavern Corset going to be? I don't know if do we have that number?
I think it's a little bit more than the regular flavor.
Just because of the paint
casting.
Job
well, in the casting, it's a distinct casting color and all that. I think it's like $10 or $15 more, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
Hellscape is the luxury cavern.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for that restock. And just the new stuff too. Man. Hellscape bundles. I think we're probably going to put together a Hellscape bundle.
Yeah.
For that restock, a Hellscape bundle or two.
Has to be.
Yeah, no way we don't. Let's see.
I tell you, just knocking a couple of these a little off kilter makes the build look so much nicer.
Makes it look more natural, yeah.
Yeah, just a little. Right, we're off by 15 degrees on this thing or whatever. This one's like 30, but I don't know.
Those wildland rods are square, but the holes are round.
Well, yeah, that's the story. That's it.
Yep, there's a long story behind that.
Yeah.
The good news is it'll still work. The square rod will still go into the round hole.
Well, we chose to keep the rod square so that it wouldn't rotate.
Yeah, it still is better than if it was on a round rod, because the point of those is it's supposed to stop the stones from rotating at all.
Yeah.
Are bundles replacing the builds of the month? How much?
Yes.
How much? Yeah. Okay. So here's what I would like to do.
Tell me what you want to do.
What I want to do is the main issue being currently we're back to work from home because of Omicron cases and stuff, so we're not able to do a lot of intense video shoots. But I would like to do videos in the style of build of the month that are for these bundles that will not go away at the end of the month, basically.
The bundles. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, yeah, those will come back and it'll be like build of the month, except there won't be a time limit on them.
It's just the build.
Basically, it's just the build.
Just the build.
Yeah.
Yeah, the build of the month was super, super fun, and I think people enjoyed them, and a lot of the bundles did really well, and like it was just a neat way to show how you could build, get some tricks, have maybe inspire you with some ideas. Like, I don't know, I loved the format. It was a lot of work, for a thing that would disappear. It was like the Mission Impossible note would just self-destruct.
People are saying Bill of the Month made them FOMO buy things. I'm like, that's true. Maybe we'll still do like some limited time bundles, but the main thing is that stuff really only targets people who are already here and already are customers, right? Whereas like the appeal of bundles is, I think they can be extremely good starting points for new people who are coming in who need to see like a full encounter, a full thing, and now that can just permanently be there to be like a nice, good starting point for them.
Yep.
That is, and the Corsets have been really good for that. And I think that's why a lot of these bundles will incorporate the Corsets plus some bling to like make it like feel like a more full encounter, basically.
These Wildlands Ruins pieces are awesome.
Yeah.
Just look at, like, man, really, Michelle killed it on these things. Whew. Need more.
You can limited time gift card, but the bundle is evergreen. See, that's one thing that I was thinking about doing with the bundles, and then.
But I don't,
Jay was cool with putting permanent gift cards on them, and it's like.
Yeah, I don't think we need to drive FOMO. Like, I'd rather drive good content, right? I'd rather give people a cool, a fun video that that's like, oh, here's how you could use this stuff, and a good bundle that makes sense, and keep the card in there and just like let it be a thing, not try and drive it as a limited thing, but just it'll be limited in that eventually we run out of stock in some of the stuff, but like let it run its course and just give people tools to get excited about or get engaged with the stuff, or figure out how to get in, right? Maybe I didn't know why I wanted ice caverns, or maybe I didn't know how to build with streets, or maybe I didn't know whatever, and this shows you that and says, oh, okay, maybe this is the way. And then if I do, there's this bundle that gets me started. I already saw how I could build with it, and there's a gift card. Like, I don't know. I'd rather just make useful ways to engage folks than try and, I don't know, make that sort of the panic of missing it or whatever is a thing. Oh.
Yeah.
Because it would suck if you showed up like 2 days late and then you were like, oh, this is the thing. This is just what I need. Like, this is so cool. And then you can't even get the bundle, much less whatever, or you miss the card. Then you feel like you miss out if you miss the card. And I don't know.
Yeah. And it's also like, I don't know. It would just be a very nice thing to be able to point people to have like this catalog of encounter style, build them on style things that you can just tell people like, hey, if you're new here and like this is the kind of thing you want to do, like go check out this bundle that has a whole video for it showing it off too.
Oh, want to learn how to do negative space? Here's that negative space bundle someone mentioned. It's got a lava terrain tray and some banks and a cavern core, and you can build this thing. And
because I think the build of the month videos are great ways to get people excited for our stuff. But if they don't see them in the month that we're selling it, then it can't translate into like the actual start of their collection.
Yeah.
Like.
Agree.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we should cover? Any other questions? Any how we are here? What can we do for you?
Banks. AJCNZ is shouting negative space in banks over and over again. I'm not entirely sure.
I think they want a bundle.
So instead of 60-second videos for the bundles, have a full-on video showing what the bundles can do. Yeah, I think for the bundles, so I'll tell you this thing. The initial plan, when we've been talking about like these wargaming bundles for a while, well, initially it was going to be one bundle. It turned into two. And the plan was to have a big video to go with it. The issue is we have been stuck in quarantine, and so we can't shoot that video until we can actually have everybody together in the production room again.
But we'll get there.
Yeah.
But we didn't let it stop us from putting out the bundle.
Yeah. It's a whole thing of like, this is a thing we've been needing to do for a while. Let's just do it.
Also, since these are evergreen, we can always just do the bundle later.
Yeah.
Like, bring new life.
Are containers 4 and 5 going to ship as they arrive, or wait? They should ship as they arrive. I'm pretty sure. I think one of them.
I think they're going to end up
recently.
I think they're both going to show up around the same time because the one was damaged and got delayed, so the one behind it caught up. And I think they're like conceptually, I think they're arriving within a week of each other. So I think we're going to do them all together at one fell swoop.
Okay, so we'll have 4 and 5 shipping together.
I believe that's the plan.
Okay.
And then 6 will show up, who knows when, after when shipping starts to get, if we can get on a boat, and then we're done. Then we put it in the store.
Paul's asking if they bought enough Underdoom cores to demonstrate their loyalty and earn Underdoom banks. Underdoom core sold really well.
Yay!
Are we restocking the Underdoom banks anytime soon? We should.
I don't know. Yeah,
Underdoom works really well with. We should have the banks available.
Well,
and everything.
you know, if now that there's a little, there's momentum in the Underdoom in Ice and in hopefully in Hellscape, then it's like, you know, if sets are moving, then it we can say, hey, we can make a case for restocking some of those older sets. Did we get the bridge in Underdoom or no? We just got it in. We got it in Ice, Hellscape, and regular.
We didn't. We were planning on getting it in every flavor, but we had to scale back.
Yeah.
And we cut the Underdoom bridge.
But we got it in Hellscape, Ice, and this is the natural bridge that the big 6-inch long Cavern's natural bridge from Cavern's Deep. That's coming in the restock in Ice flavor, regular flavor, and Hellscape flavor, which is really exciting. First ever in Hellscape. So you can make a cool bridge over the magma river and stuff like. Danger is afoot. Oh yes. Oh yes.
You never had Underdoom banks? No, but it'd be super easy to get the banks pack in Underdoom paint.
We never did Underdoom banks? Yes, we did.
Apparently they were only available in the encounters, according to Paul. They were never sold as their own add-on. Yeah. Huh. But it'd be super easy to just put Underdoom paint on the Stone Banks pack. You know?
Well, what would be awesome would be to do the new ones that we did from Hellscape, the larger banks in Underdoom.
That'd be sick too. Gandolfin had a question. Gandolfin's new, by the way. This is the first time.
Welcome. Thanks for joining.
He's asking, your earlier comment about bringing back some KS1 packs later this year, but updated. Does that mean you're turning them into Dwarvenite and adding magnets? So KS1 was already Dwarvenite, but they didn't have magnets. And so that's part of it, is the Cavern's core sets that are there now actually are a mixture of KS2 and KS5, or KS2 and KS6 Caverns. And so these dungeon reconfigurations are going to take some of those KS1 dungeons and mix them with KS5 dungeons for the core sets. And that means that the KS1 pieces that we're remastering are going to have magnets on them. So they'll magnetize just like the KS5 stuff. And a couple of the KS1 pieces we're actually slightly resculpting because there were some issues with the sculpt.
There were issues. We're making them match. So in Dungeon of Doom, we added a texture onto the sides. Got this Michelle piece queued up. We added a texture to the sides of the dungeon floors, like all the edges of the floor pieces. So we're adding that texture to any of the pieces that didn't have that. We're adding anchor magnets. And then we're resculpting completely the diagonal. But like the curved wall is going to be the same thing with just some nice little texture on the edges of the floor to make it cohesive. It just looks cooler that way. And the portcullis, the freestanding portcullis arch, we're fixing that so that one had an issue. It wasn't wide enough.
People are asking when we're going to get the bean. I think you're
queuing it up currently. I was queuing the bean. Bean. Are we ready?
Cities 2 bean is on the way.
And it looks a bit like this. Oh, that was anticlimactic.
What did you do?
Because I'm in studio mode. Did that work? Yeah.
No tech issues.
Nope. Hey, if that's the worst we had, I pressed the wrong button. Like I can. Not so bad.
Oh, wow! Look at the look at the stitching on those bags.
So this is modular trash. This is a barricade slash clutter slash just awesomeness, right? So it's two different pieces. Oh, that's it's just the little pieces stacked on top there, or you can line it up on the side. Does that fit the page? Yeah. And one side is like really beat up and trashy looking, and the other side, if we get to the other side, what is not as beat up. I think this is the not as beat up side.
Oh yeah, we did show you this piece last week, but now it's finished sculpting.
Well, and there's a second one, right? And so there's got playable space on there. Where's it?
Oh, also I think the second part is new.
The little guy.
Yeah, the little guy's new.
It's under the skeletons, on the right side of the skeleton. That piece is new, and they fit together, so it's hard to tell that the two pieces. But it's
this so Merc. This is two pieces. It's the long piece and then the small piece.
So they can, and this is a variety of ways they can go together. So the small piece is in the lower left there, small piece is straight on the left, small piece is in the upper left. It's on a lot on the left. It's all in the line.
Simply the cross stitching on those bags. It's wild to me. Like they look like they're actually holes that go all the way through.
There's the raccoon head, bottom left. Yeah. It's gonna be awesome. But
there's a hole for an accessory somewhere. Yeah, there's gonna be a pull accessory hole
on the top of this small crate on the right.
Small crate on the right.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. You can stand on it. You can hide. Use this barricade. You can use this just clutter for your storeroom. You can use this trash on the street. Like this little one is totally like you just throw that by the edge of your alley. Like where is it alone? Right. It's gonna be really neat.
Yeah, this isn't stale beans. It's an update to a bean you saw and an entirely new bean you didn't know about. Come on.
Double beans.
Yeah.
They were complaining not enough beans.
Well, I think they were just seeing the same stuff, but it's like, no, this is an update to the one you saw last week, and then also the additional part.
The double, little minor, the a lima bean. Little bean. Yeah, it's what we got. It's better than no beans.
It's a refried bean, and
ooh, that's delicious.
Refried bean is something you've seen before.
Now we need a Les Mis style assault on the town.
Les Mis barricade.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can reenact the part of the movie where a kid gets shot.
I didn't see it. They sing a lot.
Oh, right? I guess I'm sorry for no, I'm not sorry for spoilers.
Spoiler.
No,
did Dumbledore get shot in that or something?
Yeah, Dumbledore gets shot by Rosebud. How have you never? Wait, so you're referencing the barricade from Les Mis?
I saw them. I saw the play. Saw it on stage.
Okay, so the kid still gets shot in
Broadway.
That too.
Yeah, I don't remember. They were singing in French or something.
They don't sing. Wait, did you actually see a French production?
Maybe.
Because the original, the original book was French, but like.
Les Miserables was French.
Yeah, it's French
from
for
Missouri,
less
isn't it? Yeah.
Which is weird because they seem pretty sad. You know?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
I don't know. I saw Phantom of the Opera in England, and I feel like I saw Les Mis in France for some reason, but I don't know.
I saw a movie of Les Mis that had Liam Neeson in it, I think, and then I saw.
Does he kill everybody?
Was that?
Does he like throat chopping people and stuff? Yes. It's
just Taken.
Taken.
In the streets of France.
Le Taken. It's like.
It was much younger. I can't remember if it was that. It might have been a different old movie I saw because it was like young Liam Neeson.
Krull.
It might not have been him in that.
He's in Krull.
And then I saw I saw the newer one. Was it the newer one? The funniest thing to me. There's a part.
It's known as a good comedy. I can see why.
No, you don't understand.
Okay.
Like it's. They wanted it to be dramatic, I guess. There's a part. So do you know Valjean at all? Do you know anything? What do you know about it?
They sing. There's a barricade. They have a flag.
Okay.
Everybody's
so there's
hungry.
A notable part.
There's
a very famous climax, not the climax, but one of the climaxes is Javert's like suicide basically, and he jumps off a bridge at the end, and the way they showed it in like the Tom Hooper movie, he jumps and he's like falling all the way down, and then like instead of just falling into the water, there's like a little ledge and he hits it like right at the end and then it flips, and it's supposed to be, I think it's supposed to be like a gruesome, shocking thing, but it's comedic genius. Like it's the funniest.
No!
It's so funny. Like
they just did not. Maybe they didn't test screen it, and I don't. Oh.
It was very. I don't know. I didn't dislike that movie as much as everybody else did, but like that particular moment was just very funny to me.
Well, one day when I watch it, I'll have to be ready to laugh at that.
Okay, good. I'm not the only one. Super Mario also laughed at it, but I was like, no, it's.
You're not supposed to, but it was. You can't.
It was genuinely. It was perfectly structured as slapstick comedy.
Yeah. The timing, the whole.
It came at the end of a lot of tension. There was a lot, a lot of silence, and then it was suddenly broken. Like it was surprising. It broke tension. Like it was everything that you need for a good joke. It did. Like I don't know.
Well, you're not alone. Well, let's wrap it up. We'll call it early. Yeah. If we got we scattered, brained out. We have if there's other ideas for bundles they'd love to see, let us know. If there's other ideas for scatter sets you'd like to see, let us know. If there's other things you want to let us know, let us know. Next week we will be building with the new Aranthor Mountains pieces from Wildlands, playing with the mega build. Any pre-requests? Anything I should prep for that? How do we have the most fun with a bunch of Mountains pieces?
They're gonna want you to build it as tall as you can.
All right, fair.
I'm just calling it now. They're gonna ask for you to build up. God, how much clearance do you have to the roof there from your?
It's a diagonal. It's if I'm in the attic, I'm hoping to be in the purple palace of attic power. It's a diagonal. The roof is at a diagonal, so I might actually hit the roof.
You'll be closer, so you're closer to like the ceiling then.
But yeah, like the back of the workbench goes like this for, I don't know, 12 inches or something, and then comes up at about a 45-degree angle. Maybe it's 30. I don't know. And then
of course everybody's focusing mountain Jenga, tall stairs. Build a waterfall more than 2 levels high. Are you gonna have more than 2 waterfall pieces?
Gonna have 1 mega. So yeah. But that's something we can look forward to. We can do the bonkers build. Why don't we do after everybody gets Wildlands? We'll do bonkers build.
You could grab test shots from the office potentially if you wanted to test out taller waterfalls.
Yeah, that's a good. If
Tyler wouldn't,
do a double whammy. See it like go 4 layers high and see what ensues.
How does it look? Try and do like a curve even.
No curve. That's it.
Yeah, it 2 goes down and then it does a curve and then 2 down again. Something like that.
I did that I did that on one build during Wildlands. But yeah, that'll be a fun.
Didn't we only have 3 waterfalls during the Kickstarter?
Yes, I think by the end we had 4 pieces, like 2 of each, but I don't know. It was 1,000 years ago. But anyway, that'll be something to look forward to. I'll see if I can get some extra waterfalls and we'll go nuts. We might actually have another, so maybe I can get a second set so I can go bonkers.
Yeah.
We'll go chase it. That's the title. It's Chasing Waterfalls. We'll be chasing waterfalls next week. And what's going on tomorrow night with the hobby hang? What is hanging?
I don't entirely know. Well, I'm not going to be there because we've got another thing we got to do at the same time. And then you'll be there too. It's a thing we can't talk about.
Oh yeah, that's tomorrow.
I'll remind you that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I was gonna whenever I am on, I'm going to be wildland stuff. But Hamster will be painting on this channel at 6:00 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. And one thing I want to say, now that people are getting their pieces, if you have any questions about painting any of your wildland stuff that
come to the hobby
isn't covered in the PDF guide that was put out, like any questions about any of the particular trees or anything, the hobby hang is probably going to be the best place for you to get like quick, thorough answers that are specific to your situation.
Quick and thorough? In this economy?
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Hamster knows what he's talking about, and he's always happy to help people out, so.
He's full of little amazing nuggets of paint wisdom, too.
Yes.
Like,
it's the thing where, like, he doesn't think that much of himself as, like, a painter, but he loves that space so much that, like, he just absorbed all these things into him. It's just, like, a very normal thing. Like, well, yeah, everybody would know this.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, you've actually got, like, a lot of wisdom. Yeah.
You don't need a steady hand, just a steady brush.
Yeah.
It's like just, he is the sphinx of painting.
It's like he got that out of a book or something, you know?
Did he really? No,
I don't think so. Well, maybe. Yeah. I don't read.
He just reads the Art of Painting minis by the famous mini painter that wrote that famous book.
I know that's a Sun Tzu reference. I'm trying to think of like.
Know your paint, and you will know. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
You will succumb in 1,000 miniature battles. Cool. Well, thanks for hanging out. It was fun. This is the first time we did like a whole slew of surveys. We should have done a survey asking people if they like doing a bunch of surveys.
No. Well, because then if they said no, what are we gonna do?
Another survey asking why they didn't like doing a bunch of surveys, and then yeah, I got data. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but I got some data. So
yeah,
it was it's lively, and we'll be back next week building, and hopefully in the purple. Cross your fingers for purple, and hopefully the bundles aren't sold out by then. We can talk about that more.
We'll need to think of a name for that room.
Yes. Like, yeah, it needs a name. A little sign over the door. The door had big giant letters that said "help" on the outside of the door, which are torn off, but they're like the outline is there. It's like one of those like cheap like laminate doors from like the 50s, and like so it's just torn out. So there's like just like a weird outline of help. I painted over it purple, but you can see like now it's even more of a cry for help. It says like help like underneath the paint. It's just sort of reaching out, and it's eerie.
Yeah, so, that's terrifying.
Yeah, I don't know why it's there, but help. All right, well, thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks.